Welcome back to the channel, F1 enthusiasts. Today we're exploring a topic that's been brewing in the motorsport world for quite some time now. And trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this. We're talking about a potential game-changing moment in the career of none other than Mick Schumacher. Could the young German driver, once seen as a rising star, be on the brink of a dramatic return to Formula One? Or are we witnessing the closing chapter of a legacy tied to one of the greatest names in the sport? Stick around, because we're going to dig deep into the latest developments surrounding Sauber, Audi's F1 ambitions, and whether Mick still has what it takes to secure a seat. Plus, there are some insider rumors that just might tip the scales in his favor, and they'll keep you glued to the screen until the very end. So hit that like button, buckle in, and let's get started on this incredible journey through the F1 driver's market. This could be one of the most crucial moments in Mick's career, and you're about to get the full story right here. Let's begin with a closer look at Sauber's current driver lineup situation and the interesting twists it has taken recently. Sauber, set to rebrand under Audi for their F1 comeback in 2026, is now at a pivotal crossroads, according to recent reports. Former Ferrari team boss Mattia Binotto is re-evaluating their options, including reopening discussions with drivers who many thought were out of the running. One of those drivers is Mick Schumacher, a name that, despite its historic weight in Formula One, has faced considerable doubt over the past few seasons. Initially, it seemed like Mick's F1 journey had come to an abrupt end after his departure from Haas, especially when Alpine opted for their academy driver, Jack Doohan, over Mick. Many saw this as the final nail in the coffin for Mick's hopes of staying in Formula One. But as we all know, things in F1 can change at the drop of a hat, and it appears the momentum is once again shifting in his favor. Despite the uphill battle and new competition from up-and-coming talents like Franco Colapinto and Gabriel Bortoleto, Binotto has confirmed that Schumacher is still very much in the running. It's worth noting that while Mick's trajectory seemed to falter with Haas, especially given his high-profile crashes that cost the team financially, there are still many within the sport who see his potential. After all, we're talking about a driver who has proven his worth by winning both Formula 3 and Formula 2 championships. And despite the setbacks, the prospect of an all-German lineup for Audi in 2026, with Mick and veteran driver Nico Hülkenberg, is one that many insiders are keeping a close eye on. So, could we be looking at Mick Schumacher's big comeback, with Sauber and Audi betting on him to deliver when it matters most? Or is this another false hope in the ever-volatile world of F1 contracts and driver politics? One of the more intriguing factors at play here is how Mick Schumacher's past, and especially his relationship with key figures in F1, could shape his future, while his stint at Haas didn't go as planned, resulting in a series of disappointing races and costly crashes. There are still strong voices within the F1 community advocating for his return. And one of those voices could be none other than Sebastian Vettel, a four-time world champion and one of Mick's closest mentors. Vettel has publicly expressed his belief in Mick's abilities on multiple occasions, and with Vettel's deep connections in the F1 world, his backing could play a crucial role in Mick's chances of securing a seat at Sauber. Vettel's influence on Audi, through his ties to the team and his respected status within the sport, could mean that Mick's name stays on the table far longer than some expect. Mattia Binotto, who worked closely with both Vettel and Mick during his time at Ferrari, has also voiced his respect for the younger Schumacher's talent, despite the setbacks. This brings us to a key question: does Audi want to take a chance on Mick, not just as a driver, but as part of a longer-term project to establish a strong, all-German lineup? With Audi looking to make a serious impact when they re-enter Formula One, they're weighing their options carefully. And while Mick may not have had the opportunity to prove himself in a front-running car yet, his track record in the junior category still speaks volumes. However, Mick's biggest challenge might not come from his own past performances, but rather from the new wave of young talents eager to take his place. Among those is Franco Colapinto, an up-and-coming Argentinian driver who's quickly building a reputation as one of the most exciting prospects in F1. With strong backing and a growing resume, Colapinto is positioning himself as a serious contender for one of the Sauber seats. But even with fresh talent knocking on the door, Binotto and the Sauber management haven't closed the book on Mick just yet. In fact, they've made it clear that they're in no rush to finalize their 2026 lineup, giving them the luxury of time to make the right decision. As Binotto put it in a recent interview, they are carefully balancing the need for experienced drivers to guide the team's development with the desire to bring in young, hungry talent who can grow with the team into the future. And Mick, with his F1 pedigree and potential, remains a part of that conversation. One of the most telling signs that Mick Schumacher is still a strong contender for Sauber's future plans is the fact that Mattia Binotto openly mentioned Schumacher as one of the drivers they are actively evaluating. Binotto, who is no stranger to working with top-tier talent from his days at Ferrari, emphasized that Schumacher's experience within the Ferrari Driver Academy has given him a unique insight into Mick's strengths and weaknesses. Having that kind of familiarity can be a huge advantage, especially when considering the long-term goals Audi has for their Formula One project. But Mick isn't just relying on past relationships or personal connections. His track record speaks for itself, with titles in both Formula 3 and Formula 2 proving that he has the ability to perform at a high level when given the right machinery. And while his time at Haas may not have gone as planned, it's important to remember that many drivers have faced similar challenges early in their careers, only to come back stronger once they found a team that believed in them and gave them the right tools to succeed. However, standing in Mick's way are other rising stars such as Gabriel Bortoleto, the young Brazilian talent who's been making waves under the mentorship of none other than Fernando Alonso. Alonso, a two-time world champion, is well known for his ability to nurture young drivers, and his backing of Bortoleto has added another layer of complexity to Sauber's driver selection process. While Bortoleto may not be quite ready for an F1 seat just yet, his potential is undeniable, and his connections through Alonso could certainly influence Sauber's decision-making process. At the same time, Sauber's management must also consider the role of Valtteri Bottas, their current driver who brings a wealth of experience to the table. Despite the team's struggles on the grid, Bottas remains one of the more consistent and reliable drivers, and his leadership could prove invaluable as Audi looks to establish itself as a competitive force in F1. However, Bottas has openly admitted that the team's poor results have complicated his efforts to secure his seat for the future, especially with younger drivers like Colapinto and Bortoleto eager to make their mark. So the question now is, how does Sauber balance this mix of experience and fresh talent? Will they opt for a veteran like Bottas, who can guide the team through the early stages of their development under Audi? Or will they take a chance on younger drivers like Colapinto or Schumacher, who offer both potential and the opportunity for long-term growth? One of the most significant challenges that Sauber faces is deciding whether to prioritize immediate results or invest in long-term potential. On one hand, Valtteri Bottas offers the team proven experience and consistency, something that could be invaluable during Audi's re-entry into Formula One. But on the other hand, drivers like Mick Schumacher and Franco Colapinto represent the future of the sport, young, hungry talents who could grow alongside the team as it evolves. Let's take a closer look at Franco Colapinto, who has quickly emerged as a strong contender for a future Sauber seat. The young Argentinian driver has been turning heads with his recent performances, and his team principal is fully behind him. Colapinto's ability to adapt to different racing conditions and his aggressive driving style have made him a favorite among F1 insiders who believe he could be a star in the making. With Colapinto's growing reputation, his chances of landing a seat with Sauber in the near future are looking stronger by the day. However, Mick Schumacher still has an edge in one key area of familiarity with the Formula One environment. Despite the setbacks he faced at Haas, Mick has already gone through the rigors of an F1 season, including dealing with media pressure, team politics, and the high-stakes nature of the sport. This kind of experience is not easy to come by, and it could make him a valuable asset to a team looking to balance youth with seasoned know-how. Mick's connection to Audi's long-term vision is another factor that can't be overlooked. Audi has a rich history in motorsports, and they've always favored drivers who embody their brand's values of precision, resilience, and performance. An all-German driver lineup with Mick Schumacher could align perfectly with the image Audi wants to project as they build their new Formula One legacy. It's a scenario that appeals not only to the fans but also to the brand's broader marketing strategy, something that often plays a significant role in team decisions. With so many moving pieces in Sauber's driver lineup puzzle, one thing is clear: the team is poised to make a decision that could shape its future for years to come. As Audi prepares to make its official entry into Formula One, having the right drivers in place will be crucial to their long-term success. And while names like Franco Colapinto and Gabriel Bortoleto are certainly exciting prospects, Mick Schumacher's case is far from closed. Mick, with his heritage, experience, and undeniable potential, remains a contender despite his setbacks. His struggles at Haas may have dimmed some people's perceptions, but within the walls of Sauber and Audi, his talent is still very much recognized. The possibility of having an all-German lineup with Mick Schumacher and Nico Hülkenberg has a certain appeal, not just for racing fans but for the brand image Audi wants to project when they take over in 2026. However, let's not forget that Sauber also has Valtteri Bottas in their current lineup, a driver whose experience and leadership could be invaluable as Audi looks to establish themselves as a competitive force in Formula One. Bottas, despite struggling to score points recently, has shown that he is still capable of delivering solid performances, and his presence in the team shouldn't be overlooked. In the end, Sauber and Audi will need to strike the right balance between experience and youth, between proven talent and untapped potential. Whether they choose to continue with Bottas, take a gamble on the rising star Kolapinto, or offer Mick Schumacher the second chance he needs to prove himself, their decision will have lasting consequences. And for Mick, this could very well be his last shot at redemption in the sport that his family has become synonymous with. So, what do you think? Does Mick Schumacher deserve another shot at a Formula One seat with Sauber? Should the team opt for the fresh energy of Kolapinto, or will Bottas' experience win out in the end? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out the video appearing on your screen right now for more in-depth F1 discussions and analysis. Until next time, keep racing.